best tips for if you're wanting to paint a room a dark color. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Elise, are you a painter? And I'm here to tell you, absolutely not. However, my husband and I made so many mistakes when we were trying to paint this room. In total, it took us 6 coats, 5 gallons of paint, 4 mental breakdowns, and a lot of our mental health. I want you to listen to what I have to say, and I want you to learn from it. Number 1 is to do extensive research. We did do a lot of research, however, not enough. You want to know what type of paint you want to use, like which brand, and also what type of finish do you want the paint to be. We chose satin because we were like, the color is going to be dark. We want some light to reflect off of it. Well, the thing with satin paint is that literally any kind of streakiness or unevenness shows up. We later found out that satin finishes are best used for like trim and bathrooms. So highly recommend doing some kind of matte finish or an eggshell. The next tip is to go a section at a time. What we should have done was cut in, do this wall. Cut in, do this wall. Instead, we cut in the entire room and then did the giant walls. What I mean by cutting in, it's when you take your brush, get it sopping out with the color, and you're basically painting the edge where the ceiling meets the wall. You're essentially outlining, that way when you go with the roller, you're not like getting it on the ceiling. And the reason I think you should be doing section by section is because it'll dry better and it will look nicer and be a lot more even than what we did. Don't do the W motion, it made it so streaky. Got these weird looking triangles because all of the paint was going a different direction. What I recommend doing instead is taking your roller, going up, all the way down, and then up, all the way down. That way the paint is all going in the same direction. Think about when you rub velvet, it goes all one way or all the other. That was essentially what was happening when we were painting. Continuing with that, make sure you get your roller soaking wet when you were painting. We would go and dip in again. We were not getting enough paint on the roller, which was contributing to the streakiness. Make sure that you use gray primer. I didn't think we needed that, because our walls were gray. We were painting gray to green. Apparently, anytime you're painting with a dark color, gray primer is the answer. And then finally, and honestly, my biggest piece of advice, if you do not want to do this by yourself because it sounds too stressful, take my word for it, it is. Hire painters. I had a painter come in and he did all of the woodwork, all of the doors, and then he ended up putting 2 coats on the wall. If you want to do it yourself, I know it can sometimes be cheaper and more affordable. Highly recommend doing a lot of research and using these tips.